was that? What? What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of aliens?
Hello, weirdos out there in Weirdo Land. Oh, yes, we have the whole band. We are back together. But we're competing against the opening night of Sunfest, Mr. Beckett.
Oh, geez.
That's okay.
It's okay. It's a little soggy out there.
Is it soggy they were talking about? And I hate starting it off with the weather, but fuck, I'm going to start off with the weather.
Humans love talking weather, dog.
Virginia was squawking all week about it's going to be quack, 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 thunderstorms. It's beautiful out here in Palm Beach Gardens at 6:04 p.m. Time mark it if you are keeping a journal at home. Vicky, do you believe in journaling?
It could be helpful for other people.
Not for a Vicky?
No.
Why is that?
Well, I did it a few times in my life, and then when I go back to read it, it's kind of depressing. So, yeah.
Perhaps we're not supposed to go back and read the greatest hits when it comes to our journal. Maybe it's more about getting it all out. Yeah. You've heard that before, right, Beckett? If you've got a grudge against somebody and you're about to write them something real mean, they say, write it, wait 24 hours before you send it, and then if you still feel that way, maybe you can send it. And that is true. I was looking at my drafts from just years, and there are some emails I haven't sent because I followed that rule, and I'm quite happy that I did.
Yeah, it's definitely good to work out your thoughts. I think the tactile response has been studied and how you put things to paper and whether it's something you're angry about, sad about, want to accomplish. It's like meditation. We've talked about that a lot on the show. It's something that I believe in the power of both. I just have a tough time staying consistent with it. But you could say that's with anything. Some people have a tough time being consistent going to the gym.
Yeah.
You know?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Healthy.
I go to the gym a lot. The Jim Romano. That's my kidney brother. That's his name.
There you go.
Denny's, you're a man that seems to be at peace most of the time. Journaling, stuff like that. Is that self-help, journaling, all that kind of stuff? I feel like people kind of, like to Vicky's point, they cringe a little bit at it. They think it's cheesy. You know, do you think there's something to that?
Yeah, so even the cringe, even if you go back to very early works of artists that you like, they sometimes cringe at their earliest stuff because it feels sappy or trite or whatever, and then they feel like they've matured as musicians.
Yeah, Weezer, Rivers Cuomo, the lead singer of Weezer, their second album, he said, because they came out with that first really big album, he said the second one felt like he was at a party getting drunk and just regurgitating his diary to everyone at the party. He hated it. It's critically acclaimed now.
Yeah, I like that album.
Love it.
I like the first two. It's funny because you went back and deep dived with them, but that was a band that I really liked in my youth and then didn't follow through with until you started showing me their later work.
You ever delve into a Weezer, Vicky? Is that not your game?
No.
Too hard?
It's not your vibe.
Some of my favorite music is from Sublime, and it wasn't their self-titled album. That's what put them on the map and made them famous, but it's the early, like Robin in the Hood, 40 Ounces to Freedom.
Great album.
When they got some live recordings, their guitars kind of screeching a little bit in the background, and who knows how they felt about it, but they're gems. It's gems to see art progress.
It is, and you can still respect the earlier art too.
100%.
Because like that's where you can see. So I agree. I used to love Sublime as well, and I felt like that guy had a real knack for creating vibey music before vibey music was vibey music, and then he just passed away and created an entire genre of music and didn't even get to experience the birth of it at all.
Yeah, it's weird. In the beginning, he brought a lot of different disciplines in, right? In the beginning, it was rock and ska.
Yeah.
And then he started to bring in some reggae and all that other stuff, and it ended up being a compilation of some really cool stuff.
California always seems to be the spot where music just develops. I mean, New York as well is another good spot for it, but
me and Vicky want to know, you guys done Circle Jerky and Sublime?
Nice.
I kid. No, great music. Great friends, great times.
It was just April 26th, too.
Oh, it was.
Vicky, when Vicky walked in today, Beckett, she was doing her Tangina. Now, if you don't know who Tangina is, I know Vicky knows who Tangina is.
I feel like I've heard rumors of Tangina.
Tangina is the character played in Poltergeist. The one that talks like this, that gets all the vibes. I'm kidding, of course, but Vicky was doing kind of her Tangina type thing when she walked in my house today. Explain to the weirdos, Vicky, what were you doing and what were you feeling?
I just decided to kind of do another walkthrough, and I just closed my eyes, and I get images when I do that, and it was, I don't know what is playing with me or what image it's trying to project, but I saw this man wearing a black cape, and he's very dramatic with it. He takes it and he swishes it like this, and when he swishes it, he actually moves your little figurines. He catches, like, the cape catches the end of them, and they kind of start turning.
You have been talking about how your figures have been turning.
Well, I was talking about that before Vicky even got here. But what's odd is it sounds like you're talking and describing about one of my alter egos of recent, Smorro. You even said
does.
you said the word Zorro when you walked
Yeah.
in. You go, this guy's acting like Zorro. So my question to you, is it possible that these spirits see a human doing something and then they impersonate or emulate or whatever, and to try to get your attention? That's the first part of the question. Then the second part is, could a spirit be here, leave, go to work with me, see what I'm doing at work, come back, and then put all that information and into their art?
Yeah. Yes, for both. If you have a personal attachment rather than something that's attached to the house, they will come and go with you. So they will follow you to work. They'll follow you out on a date. They'll follow you everywhere.
In your opinion, and you probably wouldn't know this because you're not in the studio, but if you had a guess, have I ever brought in spirits into the KVJ studio?
I'm sure.
They're so fucking scared of ghosts. Kevin especially.
Oh, he doesn't even want to mess with it at all.
Virginia delves. She does the spirits talk. And when I first met Virginia, she was not buying into anything. Oh, man, ghosts suck, especially the men ghosts. She just didn't believe. The older Virginia got, she was more open to
A lot of stuff.
aliens, ghosts. And that's, to me, that's what it's about.
I think her circle has kind of drifted towards the spiritual healing things that people are into right now, microdosing, mushrooms, or the ayahuasca, or even, I mean, now people are smoking that toad venom, and people are having breakthroughs. I guess anything that causes that feeling of rebirth or that epiphany that you get from, I guess, experiencing something and then being born from that experience.
I do like the idea that there are spirits that are watching what I'm doing, and then, so would that ghost possibly go to a ghost costumes shop to buy its own ghost costumes to do the Zorro thing? Or do you think that ghost died as a Zorro-like character?
I would say it's just, for me, it's projecting that image. That doesn't mean that you actually have a spirit physically putting on a cape and physically doing that stuff. But that's the way he's representing himself right now to explain why your figurines are moving.
Yeah, well, it's odd that you said that, and it's odd that it's been happening.
Would he be teasing him just to emulate
there's
copy movement?
one here that's definitely an a-hole.
When you say a-hole, do you mean just like that jerky uncle that gets too drunk and you're like, oh, he's so annoying? Or are you talking asshole as in this guy is got some serial killer vibes?
Not serial killer vibes. A cross between a child and the drunk uncle would be my guess in their personality type.
All right.
Because he does childlike things to be annoying, but can also be, a douche at a party.
Okay.
We all know that guy.
We really do. there's one in every group. No, if there's one in your group, kick him out.
That's right.
Denny's, when you are here, you being kind of the real resident skeptic now. No offense, Beckett. You've yet to have any kind of experience whatsoever.
Not so much. I don't necessarily but I might not be attuned to getting the vibes at all. But yeah, I tend to not. But I mean, I know you've had it follow you your entire existence. So I mean,
I would say of mid-adult life on.
Yeah, I'd say you are partial evidence. Just being that you've had so much. And Klepto's, he's another one who's regularly haunted as well.
Klepto from the snack pack. My boy Bigfoot. He's got a lot of
He mentions experiences too.
Virginia even says she's got experiences. Suits from the show, no. Denny's, no. Beckett, a no. And it is odd. You wonder, too, if it is something that, some people are just a little bit more, I don't know, more in tune with always wanting to talk about feelings instead of just the fact at hand, sort of. They're more, not to say that they are any less empathetic or sympathetic to somebody, but you are a person that's very, you want to talk about feelings because it kind of grabs to you. Kevin on the morning show, I'm not saying he doesn't have, of course he's got an empathetic side to him, but he doesn't really, that's something that it doesn't come out of him all the time.
Right. And it also has to do with how busy someone is, too. I mean, Beckett came in here, doing a deal with Europe on his way in. I mean, I came in with nothing. I'm just walking around looking for spirits. He's making business deals, so I'm going to notice something before he is.
Okay, that's a good point.
That is true.
Maybe you're too involved in your own shit to career or whatever.
Yeah.
And you haven't had that experience yet.
Well, I think to Vicky's point, and we've kind of said that why you and her might be more open to it, or actually, in fact, by being more open to it, you're more receptive to it.
Yeah.
So Denny's and I, just because we don't have that open-mindedness to it, then maybe we don't experience, see, feel all those things. So to Vicky's point, when you're very busy, you got a lot of more noise in your life rather than when you sit and meditate, or you sit in a quiet room, or you actually ponder things. Like a lot of good things can happen.
Yeah.
I love it. All good insight from the crew, from the forum over here. I love it. I think with all that was just a little teaser, Beckett. Get the palate wet. Time for some Ask Vicky right now. All right. Vicky, how do you know the difference between something that is only in your head compared to actually having a legit experience? And I touched upon it a little bit on the morning show today. Someone wanted to know because they have mental health issues. And there's been times where they question what they've seen or experienced because it's been diagnosed they've got that. But they also think something else is going on.
Well, that's difficult. I have my own personal theory. I think that when our brains are functioning correctly, all of our chemicals are balanced properly, we don't have anything that's diagnosed. I believe that all of us have the ability to see spirits. However, I don't think it was meant for all of us to do that. So if our brains and our chemistry are right on balance, we are not able to see the other side as easily, except for those people who have the air quote gift. So when you have a mental disorder, a lot of them are related to chemical imbalances and things like that. So the defense mechanisms that should be in place for, everyone else, because if we all saw spirits, we'd really question reality. We'd all go crazy, literally, no pun intended. So when the rest of us, we have our guards up, if a person has some kind of mental disorder, there is a hole in their armor. And is that hole that spirits will zone in and communicate with them. But it's extremely hard when you have someone diagnosed with something who says they're hearing voices and they're doing this and they're doing that to distinguish between the two. However, I have told the story in the past, but I had someone who had an episode, and she was diagnosed in her 40s with late onset schizophrenia. And she told me there was a younger man, an older man, and a woman, and they were always telling her these things and this, that, and the other. So I waited a little bit of a time period, and I went to her house, and I just set up some recorders, not active sessions. I recorded an older man, a younger man, and a woman. Exactly the voices that she said she was hearing in her head, putting those paranoid thoughts there. I guess the skeptic would say that she manifested those voices from her head and implanted them in one of the recorders was 2 rooms over from us. We weren't asking any active questions or anything like that. But I'm not the only one. There are experts in the field that believe that schizophrenia in particular is a disorder. We believe that it does exist. However, we believe the nature of that disorder makes it easier for these spirits to manipulate you. And it tends to be the more negative ones that take advantage of your mental illness.
So that's a great point and a great perspective. And I've been very open with my own mental issues and struggles since I was a child. And with someone that has mental issues, do you think that they're more likely? It's just almost kind of like leaving the front door open and you're going to bed. Yeah, there's a chance nothing's going to come through. Right. Good chance there's nothing going to come through. Maybe an animal, but you're not at complete harm. But there is a chance something could go awry or askew, Beckett. Do Do you find that in your personal experience that people who have major, anxiety issues, depression, post-traumatic disorder, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of, I guess, the best analogy where most of us, we go to sleep and we lock the doors, but a person who has one of these disorders, when they go to bed, they've left the door unlocked. And that leaves that opportunity for something to take advantage of that and to interact. Sometimes it's nice. There are people that I know that have sons who are diagnosed schizophrenic and have several disorders, and they see spirits. They see relatives a lot of times. They're not seeing the more, evil type of entities. They're seeing, the uncle, and we've captured EVPs again of what this child says that they're hearing and experiencing. So it's not always the negative ones, but there have been some cases that I believe that the voices were actually real entities. And in one particular case, I think that these entities were responsible for her suicide.
Wow.
But I do believe the condition of schizophrenia exists. But because of that condition, it lets the opportunity for these other things to come in.
And this is just your own personal theory.
It's my own personal theory that, I have some evidence to back it up.
Sure, yeah. Becky, you hear a tale like this, your thoughts?
Well, it's super interesting because, Denny's brought up ayahuasca. Like, you're taking the ayahuasca medicine to actually intentionally create a temporary chemical imbalance in your head that does unlock and open the door. And the other thing that I find really interesting, it's the more science and medicine learn about autism, the more we learn that we misunderstood it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes different isn't necessarily worse or impaired. We've talked about this before. I've seen some autistic people sit down and without studying just be able to play Mozart on the piano, or take a helicopter ride across New York City and be able to sketch every little detail, of the whole entire skyline. So it's interesting, I think that sometimes if you have a little bit of a different wiring or a situation, how, like Vicky said, you can leave the door open. Obviously, you don't want it to go to a nefarious place, but...
Yeah, because I'm already, someone just sent me a tweet message, a personal tweet message going, well, Bird, you're constantly having these things in your life, and you're letting all these things open. Why don't you have Vicky try to stop it? To everyone's point here, we all got a different agenda. My agenda is I want things in here. Well, I'm in the entertainment field. I want to bring this out to the masses. If I've got something good and something great on camera, I do believe in the spirit world. I think that it does exist, but you're constantly called out, which you should call people out. Anybody on a microphone in the public eye, you need to call them out and make sure they're doing their shit, crossing those T's, dotting them I's. That's why I believe that. If not, you just let everyone get a microphone and say whatever the fuck they want, and there's no pushback. That is one of the few things I do like about social media. Everyone has a voice to give their opinion. Just a lot of people take it too far, Beckett. Gosh, take it too far. Yeah. But yeah, everyone's got their own agenda. Every situation is different. Nothing is absolute. What lives in absolutes, Denny's?
Oh, only the Sith.
Only a Sith lives in absolutes.
There you go. And I think having the ability to communicate or see or acknowledge spirits is less analogous to being able to see perfectly like everyone else has 20/20 vision. It's more analogous to some people have a greater propensity to be great at art. Some people have a greater propensity to be a fast runner, and that's just an ability that they have. So, if one person has a stronger ability than someone else, that's totally makes sense.
And just for the record, if at any point you want me to clear your house and to keep spirits away from you, I'll be more than happy to do that. But I respect the fact that you feel the way you do and you want to do what you do. But if I had my choice, I would say, okay, let's shut this house down. Let's shut you down when you're in your house. And if you want to explore the paranormal, we do it through investigations as opposed to having it in your lap.
Damn, Vicky wants to do a fucking bar rescue. John Tafford, shut it down!
We're shutting it down.
Shut the whole thing down.
You just need a hammy ghost to roll up in here. I'm sure there's got to be a ghost that wants to. They want the limelight.
I need a tag, a thirsty ass ghost.
You do.
I do. I need a ghost that really wants to be seen. I don't know.
They got to be out there.
We could have a drinking party. We can call it Spirits for Spirits.
I mean,
Becky.
that's great, right?
We love it, Becky. We love it. This is an open forum for all ideas. There ain't no bad ideas here. But no, that's all great perspective, Vicky. Yeah, and maybe there's one day I will say, I'm tapping out, Vicky. I've had enough. Someone just texted in or commented in our chat room. Jocelyn, she says, I'm one of the ones who emailed in. How do you go about figuring out if it's supernatural or just a sleep issue? It's kind of is it the same sort of concept?
What, with you in particular?
I think she's asking for herself,
Or
maybe.
just in general?
Just in general, yeah.
I mean, one of the things I would do, I would rule out anything that you can rule out medically. So if you're having sleep issues, I would go do a sleep study and see what they find in that sleep study. And then, I mean, honestly, you could ask, if you're brave, like you would be, and you wanted to discern whether it was a sleep issue or actual spirit, just pay really close attention to your environment and see if things are moved, if there's even put trigger objects purposely before you go to bed just to see if they move, and that might give you a little more confirmation.
We've done that before, me and Vicky. We've, I wouldn't say set a trap. That's just not what we believe in, Denny's.
A thirst trap.
Back in my old place where the unsolved murder happened above where I lived at, which was crazy, Beck. It's still unsolved to this day. It's a crazy story. But we really felt like there was a little girl staying at my place, a little girl's spirit. And you had said at the time she was attracted to my energy. She felt comfortable staying there. And we put toys for her on the side of my bed, and sure as shit, I was hearing toys moving around all throughout the night.
Wow.
We played clips of it.
Wow.
Yeah, but again, if you're not in that room there experiencing yourself, most people are going to go, fuck that guy. He's on the radio. He's doing some bullshit. Again, as you should.
Yep.
As you should. The personal experiences, I get so many emails about personal ghost experience to the point where I know there's a good amount of our audience that is at least open to it, Vicky.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to change anybody. If you don't believe in this shit and you don't want to, fuck it. Don't believe.
Yeah. Well, that actually makes me think about something interesting. What if you have a married couple, and that's an interesting control, right? Because then you have either, I'm sure in your experience, Vicky, sometimes both people are experiencing it. Sometimes only one person is experiencing it.
Yeah, Bobby Joe and her husband. Like, she would experience things, he would not, but I mean, he was like passed out. Like,
PTFO.
But I do have another friend who she's more of the, experiencing things, and she's scared of it, but she's like, okay, that happened. And recently her boyfriend has been experiencing things in the house as well, where he was the staunch, no, this doesn't happen. There's a logical explanation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Vic, we got one more for you. What makes the ground sacred? Why are some burial grounds considered sacred, why others aren't? And it's a good point. There are Native American Indian burial grounds that you do not want to F with. And then there's other places that people will screw around with and nothing comes of it. Why is that, Vicky?
Well,
or is that humans just telling a story?
Well, in the case of, say, Native American, I mean, they actually treated the ground and their deceased ones as sacred. So that is sacred ground because of their belief system. And if you have a traditional cemetery where it's not associated with anything in particular, no belief system, it's not, we shouldn't touch it or do anything, but it's not considered sacred because of the belief system. There isn't one in place.
Yeah, they have such a high belief system. That's such a big thing in their culture that even in the afterlife, it would be something that, because it was such a strong thing.
Right. And you're not going to find that in a traditional cemetery because it's just got a whole mix of people. Some people also say that if you have a site where a tragedy happened and you have multiple victims of a tragedy in one location, that because of the horrific event, it becomes more sacred ground because they already suffered together at that time, and that you should treat that with more reverence.
Like a Gettysburg.
Yeah. Beaches in Normandy.
Denny's your turn to bring up a historical kind of show off your historical.
A historical, the Colosseums.
Pearl Harbor.
Oh yeah, Pearl Harbor.
Well, very good. Great job, Vicky. That was a great round. Very insightful.
Squeeze.
as
Can I have one
always.
tack on that?
Of course you can.
So it made me think, in your opinion, Vicky, in your experience, do you think that people should have some consideration between being cremated or buried in terms of the afterlife and the...
I think it has to do with your belief system.
Okay.
So there are, traditional Christian religions who you have to bury. You have to have that body. You cannot, cremate people. And there's other religions where it's perfectly acceptable. So again, I think it's all based in your belief system.
Some people believe the afterlife is everyone deep down, if they really stripped everything, knows what they want to do, their passion, what they love. Whether they found that out at age 4 and forgot about it, whether they discovered that at age 60, we all have that one thing that really just tickles our passion bone. And some people believe when you pass on, you live out that dream. If you love to play guitar, Beckett, you're playing guitar with your close friends or in a peaceful state. If you love weed, you're smoking weed with whatever.
Dancing in the field.
What if you love sex and sex doesn't exist because there's no reason to procreate?
Well, baby, I think it's time to get your fuck on. I don't know. I think if that's what
it wouldn't be for procreation.
again this is not what I personally believe, but
Sounds like hell.
It's what just by talking to all these people about weird shit, there are some people who believe that is what the afterlife is. Whatever your passion truly is here on Earth, you do a version of that. I mean, wouldn't that be fucking nice?
I just have always had the problem. I've never had a specific passion. My passion is always doing a lot of different things. It's weird and as frustrating and as exciting as that can be at the same time.
Yeah, so when you die and go to heaven, you can just get on a plane and just fly around everywhere.
Just spin the wheel.
Yeah, if that's what you desire. I think it's for the theory, for what they've explained it to me, it's really a specific passion that you love. And you say, I've got so many passions, they would argue, but there's one that really gets Beckett going, and that's where you would be at.
Yeah.
Again, not my theory, Beckett. Stop yelling at me. Dear Bird, this is for all of us if you guys want to talk about it. Have you seen the new John Wayne Gacy documentary? It's the serial killer documentary on Netflix. Here's my question to Bird. How many of these documentaries do they need to make on these evil monsters? I've seen so many of this one guy. Why, as humans, are we so obsessed with murder? I personally think because for most of us, 99.9, it's the ultimate horrific sin that we know we would never do. It's the worst thing you can think of, so we're obsessed with it. Don't think about the horrible, crazy elephant in the background. You're going to think about that elephant. Or think about the boogeyman because it's so horrific. That's my own theory. Vicky?
I think very similar to what you're saying. I think it's something so far removed from our thought process that we keep watching them thinking, am I ever going to understand? Am I ever going to get it as to why they do it?
But isn't there a part of it too? Just humans, we like just the basic form. We like gossip. We like to hear all the dirty details, whether we're participating in the conversation or not. You kind of like to hear, oh damn, Jane from sales is fucking Tom.
It lets
from
you know
logistics.
everybody's on the same level.
The audience will have to fact check me, but I think I read an article about how it's woven into our DNA for survival. It's a way that we spread news for thousands and thousands of years, whether it was the Bible being orally passed on or it was spreading news about impending flood or army that was invading. Gossip used to be part of survival.
Oh, believe me, we all know Paul Revere, the town crier back in. And I agree with you.
It's pretty cool.
You're right. But I'm talking about, let's remove all of that.
Yeah, now you have Housewives of New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, we still just like the drums. We like the drama. We like the oh my gosh, can you believe that's what happened?
But that's like gossip masturbation. There's no point to it anymore. It's just fun. Like that's the Housewives of New York. So it's tickling a DNA potentially genetic trait, but it's just wasteful. It's not serving any purpose.
It's the same reason we like cinema, because it's drama. Humans like arts, man. We just like anything that's a story.
We do. We love a story. We love the drama.
We love a story. And I know you guys have heard this saying before, and I wonder why it's the case, and I wonder if it has some truth to it. I think it does. You've heard that Americans love the build, but are obsessed with the fall. Americans love the fall, but then they love the phoenix out of the ashes. Like Tiger Woods, when he walked off the Masters, like after his comeback, people love that. Where 3 years, they were like obsessed with his fall from grace. We're kind of sick in that way.
We are sick.
Yeah.
No, every year I'm on this rock, I become more of a dog person.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I just do.
100%.
I think it just lets you know that everyone's the same. Whenever you see those type of a rise and a fall, especially of a major celebrity, it brings them down to your level,
Right.
as
Yeah,
a person.
and I think too, you can overexpose. Like you're talking about, the people love seeing somebody come up in the ranks and get their chops, and then you can get too big, or even I'll even put it out there, even a topic. For example, the Will Smith thing, the slapping. Everyone's talking about it for a day and a half, and most people were like, "Okay, we fucking get it." Whether it's somebody's rise to fame or to the top of the mountain, or if it's a topic, or if it's a social issue, there are ways that you can talk about it ad nauseum where it turns people off and want to repel them.
How about being a red carpet couple and then having a national court case about pooping on the guy's bed?
I'm still kind of into that right now, Becky. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big celebrity guy. I respected court so much more until this Johnny Depp Amber Heard case came around. What a kangaroo fucking court of just clownery. People are chain vaping.
I just saw that video.
Depp is knocking jokes out of the park. I think I saw the judge chuckle. He's got groupies in there. Heard is playing it up for the fucking camera. Her lawyers are terrible. I mean, what the fuck is going on? I thought court was A Few Good Men, Denny's.
No, it's My Cousin Vinny.
I mean, I don't respect court anymore because of this Depp trial.
It really has, and it's so weird. Which one? I guess, do they broadcast all of them? I feel like there's a lot of.
I think it's on court TV now. Yeah.
It is, man.
That's so weird, right? Did they always broadcast court cases?
So court cases are supposed to be public, unless there's a certain reason they're not supposed to be private.
Gotcha.
For whatever reason. But the public, they do sometimes make a decision whether to televise them or not.
Gotcha.
But and what that does is it shines light on court cases to make sure that there's no funny business. Even only if 20 people from the public are able to sit in the pews, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Then you can't have decisions go one way or the other because they're closed doors type things.
It's been very bizarre, but I have been watching. No lies about that. I'm being honest, and I'm not into celebrity shit.
The memes coming out of it as a result are phenomenal. The internet wins again on that one.
They've been very busy.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot of things going on with this trial that people haven't even begun to. There's been a big culture war going on with men versus women and all that. There's so much going on, and this case, in my opinion, is just almost kind of like it all coming to head. The media loves a war, whether it is a race war, whether it's a sex war, whether it's an ageism war. They love to pit people together and divide.
Yeah. Well, no matter what happens, in my humble opinion, Johnny Depp's won because he, at the very least in the court of public opinion, because he's muddied the water. He countersued, and the people that don't pay exact attention to all the details, and maybe if you did, you would have a different opinion per se about Johnny Depp. But just the fact that now overall, for people that aren't watching every day the whole court case, they're like, oh yeah, well, Amber Heard had her story and he had his story and blah blah blah, and it almost gets him off the hook a little bit, even if he doesn't win the countersue. In my opinion.
All right, y'all, don't get it twisted. We're not doing the dirt of the day. Calm the fuck down. People on Twitter are insane. Chemtrails in the sky, rods in the sky. Ooh. Sounds a little sexual,
Rod
Denny's.
Stewart.
Chemtrails in the sky.
Dear Weird Whatever. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut you off, Beckett.
I appreciate you that you did.
No, I did not mean to play you off the stage. Dear Weird Whatever. I was curious what you all thought about chemtrails, especially Denny's. Do you think it's real? There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about it. Love the podcast, Mark. We've briefly touched about the chemtrails few years ago. Your thoughts, Denny's?
I mean, I don't know. I think during a paranoid era, they became a big rumor, and people I think they thought that they were putting agents in it that caused us to be infertile so that we wouldn't reproduce. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from. And then now they say it's different things. There's weather control involved as well.
Don't ask Al Roker about weather control.
Yes.
I did, Beckett, and he didn't like that.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, present day, I don't know. I mean, right now would be, not that I'm an advocate for it, but you would think right now would be the time for population control, right? Just because we do have there's a lot of births happening all across.
Then what's your thoughts then? Chemtrails, in a Denny's opinion, are they real or is this bullshit?
I don't think they're real, but I mean, I get where the rumors could come from. I don't think they're real though.
Vicky, do you know anything about chemtrails?
No, I mean, we've touched on this before about conspiracy theories and spending so much time about things like that. I wouldn't give them a second thought.
Well, in layman's terms, because some people are asking, what is a chemtrail?
So they're saying behind the planes, it would leave that long white line of smoke, and they were saying it was from one of the engines. It was an exhaust that would shoot out from it. But people were speculating that it was a chemical they were either dropping on crops or dropping so that it would be absorbed in the ground and through rain into our water, and it would cause basically infertility.
Chat room, people listening to the podcast, chemtrails, I'd like to get your opinion. Do you think this is just a wacky conspiracy, or is there something to it? And then there's a follow-up email, and I'll get your opinion on chemtrails and the rod, Beckett. Dear Weird Whenever, have you guys seen the footage of the rod phenomenon? Not Stuart, Denny's. There's a ton of footage of what looks to be streaking rods across the sky. This has been going on for decades, and many people believe it's something in relation to extraterrestrial life. What do you all think? And I have seen this footage of where you're looking up at the sky, there's nothing there, then you go back in the camera and you slow it down, and there are these
rods.
There's streaks. It looks like there's something streaking in the air. It is a bit phallic, but it is very quick. And it's something that is there, and some people have ruled out that it's not a lighting issue. It's not a smudge. It's nothing like that.
What about, how the aurora borealis creates the northern lights and the flecking of lights? It's kind of a phenomenon they have up there. What if, it's possible that type of thing could happen in certain conditions.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of flecking going on, Denny's. But the believers are going to say, fleck you. I see a rod. Vicky, rods in the sky.
Garbage from planes. I don't know.
You don't know? I mean,
I'm sure there's a logical explanation.
But that's just nobody knows. It's just all theories. But it is a phenomenon that's legit going out. Google that. Rods in the sky. I would say do it on YouTube. If you Google it, you might get a dong.
Rods in the
Becky,
sky.
your thoughts? Chemtrails, rods?
Chemtrails BS. The government, if they wanted to do birth control, they would have way easier ways to do it, whether it was in the water or not. And it's moisture in certain conditions that leave the trail behind a plane. You can ask any pilot about that. So chemtrails, I don't believe in per se. The rods, I think could be. I'll take a look at the YouTube after the podcast. But remember how much stuff we have in space, and when things fall out after a certain amount of time, depending on what level of orbit they are, they burn up. So light moves fast, actually at the speed of light, right? So when it comes into the atmosphere, that could create a rod. Actually, I was going to bring this up anyways. Tonight, there's an asteroid flying by Earth.
And let me guess, NASA just found out about it at 5p and go, that's sort of close, but don't worry, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going something like 30 times the speed of sound as it flies by. I didn't get a chance to read deep enough in the article if we're going to be able to see anything like that. But anyway, stuff like that. Space trash.
What the rods look like.
Yeah, so not to cut you off, Beckett, as Denny's talks off the
weird.
microphone, just so y'all know,
weird.
There's people in the chat room going, chemtrails are real in their opinion. So it's not one of these things like, oh, these fucking chemtrails, no one believes in that. We've got many people
that's
saying
a big theory for sure.
They're out there and there's something going on. We don't know what it is, obviously, but to act like it's just this or that and nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Tomfoolery, Denny's. But it's great. Great stuff. Thank you for the feedback, chat room. Here's one a little bit lighter. My son wants to change his name. Dear Weird Whatever, my son is 12. He has never complained about his name until recently. His first name is Dick. His
Well, is it because people say it like that? His teacher. I'd be so
did
bummed out.
I have a little tone behind that?
I would go by Richard. I'd be a young Richard.
His first name is Dick. He's named after my father. Kids in his class keep calling him Dick Nose.
Oh, damn.
And Dickhead. I'm not laughing. That's terrible. I think Dick Nose is. Oh, my brother used to call me that.
Kids are so cruel.
They are so cruel, Beckett.
really
Back
are.
to the email. He wants to change his name to Hunter. This name has no ties with our family. He just likes it because it's the name of his favorite wrestler. My husband said he could do it. I say no. He needs to suck it up. Life isn't fair, and sometimes you just got to be tough. What do you all think? Should I allow my 12-year-old kid to change his name to Hunter?
I think
Vicky?
I think Hunter should be his middle name. They'd be Dick Hunter.
Damn, that's.
I don't think Hunter thought this through.
Oh
Shit.
man! Don't tell anyone, Hunter.
Vicky, I mean, we're adults and we're making fun of it. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, geez, we're not the best audience for this, I guess.
You come in here with Dick Hunter.
I do think he should just go by his middle name.
Yeah, that's. I think the nice compromise is not to change his name. He needs to start being, called by his middle name. Hopefully, it's not as bad as Dick.
What if he goes, Mom, I don't want to do my middle name. I don't want Dick.
No, your choice is I'm the parent. Your choice is to use your middle name. You're not a Hunter. You're a Dick.
Damn, that's old school,
Damn,
and I
yeah.
respect that. I like that. Beckett,
You might have to keep your name because you're acting like a dick.
you got a kid. I don't want my middle name, Beckett. I want to be Hunter. I don't want to be Dick.
Or he could be initials.
There
So
you
if,
go.
if he
DH?
has
Dick.
cool initials, that's another option as long as it's some derivative of his legal name. If he wants to change it when he's an adult and he has the money,
Yeah.
absolutely. But they named him for a reason, and society stinks for sure, but only options I would give him are ones that are still centered around his name. somehow.
So you're sort of siding with the mom with the little TT. Tough titty.
yeah.
Okay. Denny's.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Johnny Cash song, "Boy Named Sue." It made him tough.
Could
The
you give it-
reason his dad named him was that was so he beat up everyone.
Give us a taste.
He's like, geez, you're putting me on the spot. I haven't heard this song in 20 years, by the way. It's like, my name is Sue. How do you do? Now I'm gonna kick your ass or something like that.
Okay, you're paraphrasing, of course.
Yeah, it's a part in this.
I would just say you can go by a different name, but it has to be one of your names.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be like, yeah, pick middle name.
Yeah.
Well, I know in today's day and age, we let the kids fucking do whatever they want. Well, he wants to be Hunter and he's 7. Let him be Hunter. We will get some emails going, guys, your perspective is so 2022. No, it's actually not 2022. They'll say it's 1982. I don't know. I'm old school too in my theory. I named you. You want to change?
Well, my-
at 18, get a
Wait till
change,
18.
kid.
Yeah.
My dad's first name is Richard, and he goes by his middle name, Scott.
So
Pro-
he's
pro-
Dick Scott.
Probably it's because of that.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it. Chat room, people who are listening, weirdos, let us know what you think. Should he not be Dick anymore? You were talking ayahuasca earlier there, Beckett. It says, does Beckett, this is a new email from Brendan, does Beckett still feel the lessons he got from ayahuasca still help him today? Or was it more just about him getting high on some level and getting through a bad situation in the moment? And this is a longer email, and I'm paraphrasing a bit. He says, I have a chance to do it, but don't know if I should. Thoughts, Brendan?
So there was no certain situation other than being like, oh, like I'm not a midlife crisis, but like I was like, oh, like, am I doing my passion? What's my step in my career? So there wasn't like an acute bad thing I was trying to get through. And I had thought about it for 2 years, and I finally felt a pull to do it. And one of the things that I always tell people, I'll tell you what, it is not fun. It is not a fun high. You are in a tough spot for 5 hours. But I make an analogy. It's like going to your accountant. No one enjoys going to your accountant. But when you leave that meeting, you feel a weight off your shoulders, like you accomplished and moved the ball forward. And that's how I describe the ayahuasca medicine is you would never do it before a Dave Matthews concert. You know, it's not one of those experiences. You are doing work for 5 hours. And to directly answer his question, so it's one of those things people ask me, did ayahuasca change? I go, no, but it made me aware of a lot of things. And like anything, like we talked about meditation or anything like that, I do try to go back and look at my notes to remind myself of things because it's a practice. It's a practice.
I think a lot of times we get some help on something and we feel great in the moment. It's great for a week. It starts to wear off after week 2 or 3. Life happens. You go into autopilot and then you forget the lessons.
Yeah.
All of this shit we talk about, the mental health, trying to stay up. Most people, it's a challenge. It's a struggle. They got to work at it. It's like flossing your teeth. Flossing's not fun, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
And when you look back 2 months later, you go, oh man, my teeth feel great. I'm going to the dentist. They're saying I'm doing good. It's the same thing with mental health. Same thing with meditation. Same thing with trying to make any kind of adjustment or change in your life. You have to do a little bit of work. And I think that's why some people don't change, because work is work. You have to fucking get off your ass. You have to stop feeling bad for yourself. There's a lot of things you don't want to do than when you want to make any kind of change. Losing weight.
Yeah.
Beating anxiety, beating depression. Of course, I'm speaking in vague terms, and there are other people who struggle hard. Don't you love how I have to make these fucking
qualifiers?
Fucking yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, I think losing weight's a great one because Jaybird, you and I have discussed this before. You know, when my pants are starting to fit a little tight because I was going through a rough patch in a relationship and I was stress eating or whatever, it's not like I need some nutritionist, personal trainer guru. I know what to do and what not to do. You know, it's just going down and doing the work and not eating that slice of pizza at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
you
But
know?
what you could need instead of a trainer is somebody that gives you good mental perspective to uplift you, to get you out of a tough situation. I know I'm a rah-rah guy. I'm a person who wears an atmosphere.
Yeah.
If the atmosphere is the mood, I take on that mood. And I know positive words can mean the world. It can uplift me from a dark place. Some people are just built that way.
Right, 100%.
Vicky, you want to tag anything onto that?
Nope.
I
You
love
guys
it.
covered all bases.
I think with all this talk and fun, it might be time to do some
Denny's Random Facts.
Oh, sweet Denny's. He does a lot of hard work, mining, pillaging, hunting. He's not a dick hunter.
No.
But he's a fact hunter.
There you go.
And he hunts these factoids, and Vicky's our educator. She grades every fact. If it's great, she gives him an A. If it sucks, she gives him an F or a D.
And she gives me the finger. You guys can't see it on camera.
Oh, yeah. We're going to make a whole montage of Vicky just flicking off Denny's. Denny's, the floor is yours.
So this puts a lot of pressure on us musicians, but during the Middle Ages, being a bad musician was considered a public offense. And lousy musicians were tortured. They created a device called the shame flute, which was a shackle that went around your neck attached to a very large flute made of metal, and your hands were bound to it. And you were paraded around town as people dumped trash onto you.
As the shittiest flute player. Oh, my gosh.
Here, you can pass it around. But yeah, that's and I put it up for the good people here so they can see.
Talk about really wanting to nail your scales, huh? I mean, you are going to fuck around if you're going to
You
get...
definitely don't play publicly.
You are going to be a pretty damn good musician if you're going out to play a gig.
I put the same photo up for.
You should have had that in
KJT.
middle school band.
Oh my gosh, it's the complete opposite concept of open mic, where people get up there and get drunk and dick around on their guitar for 20 minutes.
Man, if there's ever a way to suppress creativity, that would be a way.
Oh my gosh.
'Cause
I love that factoid. That's a bicycle face factoid for me.
It's crazy.
Vicky, what are your thoughts?
That's an A.
That's an A,
That's
man.
an
The shame flute.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Terrible.
you're right. How do you want to do? If you want to get up on stage and freestyle, good luck with that.
Oh, you would not. I
all of a
wouldn't.
sudden you're a rabbit.
Oh my gosh.
You B-Rabbit
Yeah,
from 8 Mile.
From 8 Mile.
Yeah,
Keep
but
puking in the bathroom.
You're right,
Mom's
but-
spaghetti.
But
Living
at-
up here.
But at the end though, dog, He crushed it.
But he never had the chance for the end. Is the point?
Yeah.
It's a great point, Becky.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen 8 Mile, I highly recommend it. I love that
You see
movie.
that movie?
He only got to mile 1.
I watch it every time it's on.
You
Yo,
have.
Rabbit, you just drew lickety split. I don't give a fuck.
But I think it's important though, because like I've seen these shows, you know, where these kids get up and they're trying out for these shows, and their parents have told them they're great all this time, and they get up there and they cannot carry a tune
yeah.
at all.
Ugh.
And it wasn't necessarily like people may still have tried. You know, it may not have squashed them completely from trying, but it would have helped those of us not having to hear the lousy singers.
Yeah, and to Vicky's point too, even when you're a great singer, you got to go out in that world and realize you ain't the best out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying that you can't make it. You just have to put your own unique spin on there. It's such a competitive world. Even the greatest singers don't get diddly dick out there. It's such a fucking competitive world,
Yeah,
man.
it is.
Big time. Denny's, you're crushing it, bringing a conversation galore.
So this one's for all the whiskey drinkers out there.
Yeah.
In 1830, the average person over 15 years of age drank 88 bottles of whiskey a year. That's 1 bottle every 4 days.
Yeah, that's why they live till they're 21.
They did not live long. Well, so to put that in gallons, in 1790, people consumed average of 5.8 gallons. In 1830, it rose to 7.1 gallons. Present day, I just looked it up, it is 2.3 gallons a year is what an average American drinks of alcohol.
I'm pretty bummed out. I have no whiskey right now, Beckett.
Oh no.
I
But
know.
it shows, look how we've diminished. They went from 7.1 gallons. I mean, it's crazy.
Vicky, you're not a big whiskey person, are you?
No,
But
but
you
I'm not opposed to it.
you'll ride that pony if a one in Tombstone.
Hmm.
Okay.
3 shots of whiskey is perfect. That's the perfect amount. It warms you up and gets you talking.
I
and
agree. I
chilling.
think Denny's is right. 3 shots of whiskey, a big old blunt, and then 2
Oh,
beers.
yeah.
I'm right where I need to be.
Yeah, after you do the 3rd shot, you do want a beer to ride with for a second.
Sounds like a new song.
And maybe a blunt. I don't know.
Definitely a blunt. That goes with everything.
I think a nice glass of red, like 1.5 glasses of red and a J. It doesn't get any better.
perfect.
Oh,
Becca's-
it's a perfect.
It is.
Becca's classy as fuck over there. Doing that red with that. With
Wine
a J.
hits different though. It's
Oh,
a
it hits
different
real
buzz.
different.
Oh, wine makes me. I gotta catch you the hornies on wine.
Sorry, like,
Yeah, but I get
yeah.
the emotional hornies.
Oh my gosh. you don't want to fuck. You want to make love and quiver.
Boys to Men style.
Oh, that's great though. It's nice to bust out the old tracks and bump them.
Oh, baby, we all gotta make love.
They're at Sunfest.
Oh, I know.
I
I know, Beckett.
Very
We should
cool.
Maybe go.
Hey, Denny's, do you hear? Sunfest is going on. Boys to Men's coming.
Yeah, Goo Doll's coming up tonight too.
Oh, yeah, if you're out there, I'm not. Yeah, Kevin and Virginia are out there today.
They are.
So just so you guys know, and the audience knows, my co-working space is 1909. We have a booth and we have a 25-foot trailer set up with karaoke. If you guys want to stop by
At Sunfest. That's a good
Whoa,
idea.
What a
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
yeah,
It's a great idea, Beckett.
Yeah, we'll have a margarita machine too.
Oh, man.
damn.
See, that's a good plug.
Yeah,
Because
thank
you're
you.
giving something to the people.
That's right.
There's some shitty plugs out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Denny's, the floor is yours.
So shoe shops used X-ray machines to measure shoe sizes up into the 1940s. That was all before the risks of X-rays were even understood. So I guess originally X-rays, just to catch you up real quick, were invented by a man, Rottingen, and he thought it was a weird thing that it would leave a ghostly image of its interior, and he didn't know what to call it, so he called it an X, which X stands for the unknown variable. That's why they're called X-rays, and that name just stuck. Well, the military used X-rays originally to examine soldiers' wounded feet without having to remove their boots, which is what it was used for, and they labeled it the footoscope and decided to sell it. Well, the problem is they didn't have any measurements of radiation yet because nobody knew what it was. And just to give you a gauge of how much radiation they were pumping into people's feet, an average sitting would be 20 seconds. A study on 43 machines showed that it would produce 16 to 75 rotogens per minute. The American standard for safety is rated at 0.1 per day. So they were pumping so much radiation into people's feet just to try on shoes.
Wow.
All the way up until the 1940s.
Vicky?
I mean, it was touch and go with that one.
You got tuned out halfway through.
I get it. There's a lot
But then
in
he
there.
brought it back up.
There's a lot in there. There's a lot in there,
Yeah.
He was talking about little foot soldiers.
I'm gonna give him a B because he wrapped it up in the end, but it was shaky.
but it was shaky. I get it.
Is that your second factoid or third?
Third.
What'd you give him on the second one?
The whiskey one, that was another A.
Okay, great. Look at this kid.
He's doing good. He's doing good.
Honor roll over there.
Spent all morning.
Fucking honor roll.
All right, check out this. So researchers found fossils of what they've dubbed as the mega penguin. It stood over 6 feet tall and weighed up to 300 pounds. A newly unearthed fossil realized Antarctica held the biggest species of penguin ever discovered. The reason they went extinct was that they had no predators and they ate all food and they all died from eating all the food in the area and causing their own extinction. And that
So they
was-
just they basically ate all the hurricane supplies.
they ate it all.
Took all the toilet paper.
They took it all. There was nothing left, and they all starved to death.
But they had the greatest fucking couple weeks ever, no?
Oh, they partied. It was hedonism.
It's like the Easter Island of penguins.
But the scientists dubbed it the mega penguin.
Wow.
Vicky?
It's another B.
B, it's cute.
It's cute.
It didn't rattle the cage, Jenny's, but it's cute. It's a good cocktail
Yeah.
party kind of a
Swirl
factoid.
in your drink.
Sounds like it could spur another Batman movie.
it could.
Could you, so your thoughts on penguins? Cute?
Adorable.
Oh, they're awesome.
They're pretty adorable. I love a waddling animal.
They
Oh,
live
the-
such a hard life.
Yeah,
too.
March of the Penguins is one of the better documentaries I've ever seen. You seen that?
It was heavy.
Heavy.
A lot of those animals, it
It's
never
tough.
ends well for the animal. It's a documentary. They want to make you think at the end.
Yeah, it's real
Good
tough.
chance
do.
they're gonna get it.
They do.
I mean, don't get me started on that fucking that documentary you turned against on me, Denny's. You made me. I loved it, and then
my
you,
teacher, the octopus.
the octopus. I loved this documentary. I think I saw it on Netflix. I was on the air talking about it, and then Denny's and his wife watched it, and then they broke some things down and go, the guy was a really shitty husband and not that great of a father, and he's always fucking talking about the octopus. He's never there as a dad. And then I started
Yeah.
really questioning this dick, and I go, yeah, you're right. He claimed to be the friend of the octopus. Then he's just watching the octopus get fucking
He
eaten.
didn't even save it when it was
Fuck
getting
that guy. I
attacked.
hate the documentary.
Yeah, man, it was weird. He
Yeah.
neglected his family.
You
for-
guys turned me.
Yeah.
One more, Denny's.
So this would be fun coming up in the summer. And I didn't know. Maybe this is maybe just something people know. But if you're not sure what temperature is on a hot summer day, listen to the crickets. So I guess if you count how many times a cricket chirps within 15 seconds and add 37 to it, it gives you an approximation of the temperature. Weird.
Huh.
Like that's like if you're in the woods type thing and you hear some crickets. We got summer coming.
So give me an example. I'll be the cricket.
I mean, 15 seconds worth. You gotta. It'd be like.
Oh, you want me to go deeper? We will do that tonight.
So then you would add that to 37. That gives you an approximation of the temperature.
That's crazy.
So yeah, just something you can use, I guess, in the summer.
Vicky?
In Fahrenheit, that is.
Very interesting. Very different. An A.
Especially if it's real.
Yeah.
You'll get some fuck say, Denny's, what are you talking about?
I guess it's like a field approximation. That's why I didn't know if somebody went.
No,
to
it's
Boy
real.
Scout.
It's real. I've heard that before. It's real. It's definitely real.
Wow. Well, Denny's, great job. It was a home run.
Thank you.
I think you're averaging right around a B plus A minus.
Well, that's not bad.
Can move mountains with that kind of great,
Oh,
great
jeez.
point average.
Honor Society this week.
I do want to get to our local artist today. We'll do that in a couple minutes. Sophia Marie, she's from Jupiter. She recorded the song coming up. She recorded this song at her son's musical school. Let me read this again. Sophia Marie is from Jupiter and recorded this song at my son's music. Okay, this is her mother that's emailing in. She and her dad wrote it. She's incredibly talented. She's 17 years old. Awesome. So you guys are going to hear that in a few minutes. I do want to end the podcast with a few would you rathers. I don't think we've done these yet. Would you rather deep fry and eat both of your parents? Have we done this yet?
No.
Okay.
No,
All right.
jeez.
You guys will remember that one.
God.
Would you rather deep fry and eat both of your parents or be stuck in a torture chamber for the rest of your life? Like a reek in Game of Thrones, if you know that series. You are pretty much chained to the wall, Beckett. They're cutting your thighs, pouring chicken grease in there.
Throwing stuff on. you.
Yeah. Onion balls at your eyes. Vicky, what's your answer?
Well, both of my parents are deceased.
Well, we're talking 17-year-old Vicky.
17-year-old Vicky.
Torture chamber?
I don't know.
Wow, you're deep frying your parents.
Yeah. Well, they are Southern. They did deep fry everything.
So,
It's apropos.
No, I'd probably have to do torture channel.
I mean, it's the worst kind of torture, Vicky.
That sucks.
Well, you know what? You might get into it at some point.
It's all perspective.
Yeah, after a while.
Becky, I feel like this is tougher because your parents are both alive still,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no,
Okay,
it's tough.
So right now, it's a saw situation.
It's
Jigsaw's up in this piece.
It's tough. But if I had the opportunity to consult with my parents,
Nope, you don't.
So, but if I did,
You don't.
You know,
Stop-
they get
stop
thrown
even-
right into a
stop-
fryer.
Beckett, stop you from bringing that up, or I will
but I
do
know,
other things.
But
to
I
you.
know in my head that if I had the opportunity, they would want, because they would say, "Oh, we only have 20 years, probably."
Whatever,
left anyways."
whatever makes you sleep at night, Becky.
Yeah,
I'm
whatever
going
you gotta
I'm
justify
going-
this
you gotta
situation.
do.
I'm going deep fry.
To turn you into Robin
Damn,
Hood.
deep
I go deep
frying
fry.
your parents.
I go deep
Jeez.
fry.
Damn, that's fucked
They
up,
still have
Becky.
so many years left.
Damn, you cannibal fuck.
And I'm coming over here because you got all the sausage.
If I tell you what, if anyone was to have deep fried human, I am the guy to bring the deep fried human over
100%.
to. I do lead the league in sauce.
Yeah.
Sweet Denny's.
I'd have to do torture. I can't do that to my parents.
It would suck, but I gotta get tortured too. But I mean,
Oh,
every
you guys
day-
are leaving me out there?
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
Stella would join me.
Jeez.
Put yourself out there.
it's one of those things where they're so good at torture, they're keeping you alive till you are
Yes.
95 years old. They know how to just. It's like the movie Seven. If you've never seen the movie Seven,
Oh yeah.
The problem is
I
with-
told Susie should watch
The
that.
problem is that would torture your parents.
they don't know about it. They just know you're missing. Becca's trying to fucking
Yeah, what
finagle
is
his
this?
way. No, dog, you're eating your parents. We heard it. You're deep frying it and you love it.
No asterisk.
You even said you're bringing them over here for sauces.
That's cold.
That is real fucking cold. A more benign question. What would you rather get rid of, Easter or Thanksgiving? You have the power to delete one forever. What do you do?
So does it delete everything that happens on Easter too, if you were part of the belief system?
They just know
Or
Denny's.
is the bunny gone?
Everything's gone.
All right.
Easter's fucking gone, dog. Of course the bunny's gone.
Well, I'm saying, what about what Easter stands for?
It's all gone.
Every so it
and
knows-
everyone-
nobody even knows what that word means.
You know, everyone knows Denny's, Josh Durr, is the one that deleted Easter from existence.
All right, I'm getting.
Or Thanksgiving.
I just feel like you get a lot of flack for Easter. I personally enjoy Thanksgiving though. I get rid of Easter.
Damn.
I know.
Damn,
It's
Beckett's
F.
a cannibal.
It's
Denny's
F.
hates Easter.
I know it is.
Beckett, what do you got?
I'm getting rid of Thanksgiving because people argue too much on Thanksgiving. You have Christmas right on its hind end. At least with Easter, you can space out the holiday and the family stuff a little bit more. It's a good reason to have it. Kids get to participate in the Easter egg hunt. People are a little bit more jolly, I feel like, on Easter than Thanksgiving.
Vicky?
I'd get rid of Thanksgiving and serve that food at Easter time.
Okay.
Same
Oh,
food.
there you go. Yeah. just
All right,
switch it
so
up.
we're all getting rid. You said you're getting rid of.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think I'm getting rid of. I think I'm getting rid of Thanksgiving too. I fucking hate Thanksgiving.
Oh, that surprises me.
Well, I
Because
like.
you're a big foodie.
I am a big foodie. I don't necessarily love the menu, and my mom died 3 days before Thanksgiving. Thanks for bringing that up, Beckett.
Jeez.
I'm just being. I'm being a Thanksgiving dick. I'm kidding. No, but I really don't like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
For many reasons. And last question: would you rather be buried alive with another rotting corpse, or skinned alive in front of the people who wronged you in your life?
Oh, jeez.
Buried alive.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Buried alive sucks.
Buried alive, though, it's an extra 10 hours of torture compared
fine.
to an hour of skinning alive in a public forum.
That's fine.
Oh,
I'd much rather suffocate than have skin peeled off.
Oh God, skin peeled offs are rough.
I think I'm with Beckett, man. As horrible as it being buried alive and suffocating for 10 hours, and,
Yeah,
and there's a
jeez.
rotting corpse.
Oh,
and by the
God.
way, it's a rotting corpse to where it's the most horrific state.
That would
The
be
jaw,
the-
the jaw falls off on your neck halfway through.
If I was buried alive and I was suffocating the corpse, I wouldn't even care.
Oh
I'd be-
yeah,
I'd
the
be-
corpse
is
would be
the
the
least
lid
of
of
your-
The
Yeah.
least of my
It's
worries.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's there, but
It's just in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Vicky?
I'm getting buried alive. I'm not getting my enemies any pleasure out of watching my skin being.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
they're
gosh.
snickering, talking about, hey, Denny's, remember the time you did this?
Then they take your skin, they slap you with it.
Yeah, I don't care as much about the skin peeling part as the enemy part.
Yeah.
Skinned alive really
my
bums me out, man. I feel like to Beckett's point, I would the corpse wouldn't bother me. I would just try to go into a deep meditative state and almost try to get it over with quick. But for the sake of the would you rather, you don't die right away. You try. It's 10 hours of.
Why won't I die?
Yeah. And that's it. Thank you guys for playing along around. I don't know if I would you rather.
Yeah,
very
hard
very,
one.
very
Good
good.
stuff.
They're tough. Okay, time to play our local artist. I do want to say, send me your tracks, and it would be helpful if they were on a YouTube link. Correct, Denny's?
Yeah, if you send them a YouTube link, that'd be great, because then I can pull up the video right here.
And if you don't have a YouTube link of one of your best songs, we highly recommend doing that. Make a YouTube video. Put a picture. It's very easy to do. It's going to take you 30 minutes. Upload it. Just all you got to do is put a picture on YouTube with your track there. And you should have your music on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah, it's better anyway. You want it up there, and then that way we can share it later if necessary.
Yes.
Would it be an extra incentive if you guys were okay with it on our podcast to put a link to the song?
We did that.
There's a reason why we haven't done that yet. There's going to be a list of all of the tracks from it's going to be a YouTube page here.
Cool.
It's going to say Weird and Whatever musical artist.
All the more reason for people to upload it on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be a channel. It's not up right now. I believe this is our fourth artist that we've featured. We've heard your request. There's a reason why we have to do it this way. We don't want it on SoundCloud. We don't want it on all these other forums. Please, again, upload it to YouTube. Thank you guys for listening to the Whatever podcast. We've had great fun. Local artists today, you know us, we love to support the local artists. Sophia Marie from Jupiter, 17 years old, wrote this with her father. Denny's, play it on.
Oh, but the way you acting like you're not satisfied. Nah, you're thinking too much. Oh, and the way you talk, I see it right through your eyes. Nah, now I've had enough. And now I gotta go. But I'm gonna see you running back. Oh, and the ups and the downs, but I'll turn it around so you know. You say what's up, what you like. I'll give you a piece of advice. I'm not what you want. Oh, I'll give you a chance, maybe two. I know what you're trying to do. You ran out of time. You go and leave me like that, but you know what to prove. Nah, you're winning me back. No, 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 no. You show a different side, like a new point of view. No, 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 and now I'm under attack. No, now I gotta go, but I'm gonna see you running back. Oh, all the ups and the downs, but I'll turn it around so you know, so you know. Oh, you say what's up, what you like. I'll give you a piece of advice. I'm not what you want. Oh, I'll give you a chance, maybe.